So hello and welcome to Storytime today. Thank you so much for joining. Today is a very, very special day. One of my absolute heroes, David Attenborough. It's his birthday. He's 95 years old today. How amazing is that? So cool. So to celebrate, we are going to be reading a book all about him. So what I want to do with this one is just to remind you guys that we have had a book like this before, where we've done Emmeline Pankhurst, which was really interesting. Very similar vibes, but what's really cool about this series is that they're all written and illustrated by different people, which is really cool. So there's like a familiarity with the illustrations and there's the same kind of setup, but you get different stories from different perspectives. So I really hope you're going to enjoy this as much as I do, and that everyone gets to learn something a little bit about the history and the amazing achievements that Sir David Attenborough has actually gone and done throughout his life. So thank you for joining us, and we're going to get started. This is part of the Little People Big Dreams series, and this is the David Attenborough story. This is written by Maria Isabel Sanchez Vegara. Now, I'm reading along to the book because I don't want to get anybody's names incorrect, because Maria has written such a wonderful story. I really, really love this book. And it's illustrated by Mikyo Noh. So there we go, we'll just bring it up a little bit closer so everyone can see this, which is really cool. Sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. Little David grew up in Leicester, England, with his parents and two brothers. His father was the head of the local university, and they lived on campus, a great place for curious minds. David loved nature and animals, ants, birds, chameleons. He was fascinated by all the species he'd read about in books and wished he could meet them in real life. He often went for long cycling trips to find and collect fossils. There was something amazing about plants and animals that were thousands of years old. One day, David received a parcel from a friend with a new piece for his collection. A dried seahorse. It wasn't his birthday, but it was the day that he decided to become a naturalist. David studied geology and zoology and obtained a degree in natural science. But he didn't want to just observe animals. He wanted to meet them too. David started to work as a broadcaster in television, a new technology at the time. He brought animals from the zoo to the studio. They were very entertaining guests. But David wanted to film the animals in their natural habitats, their homes. He started to go on trips all over the world. Wherever he went, he made new friends. He met turtles on the Galapagos Islands and gorillas in the African jungle. When he visited Antarctica, he was introduced to all the members of a penguin family. One of his programs, Wildlife on One, became the most popular in British history. It was a brilliant show about biology that united audiences of all generations. Later, David was honoured for his incredible documentaries about life on our planet. He also received a knighthood and is today called Sir David. Many animals and plants were named after him. A rare butterfly, a snail, a prehistoric lion, a spider, and even a carnivorous plant. Now, you'll see on this page there are lots of names for all the things he's had named after him. And at the end, we're going to come back and we're going to play our favourite game of watching Emma try and pronounce things with really hard names, which we did when we learnt about the other dinosaurs. Still today, David cares about the natural world. Wherever he goes, he encourages people to do their best to look after it and believes that humans have the power to preserve it. And little David still looks at the world as if it's huge and unexplored, because there are always new things to discover if you take the time to look for them. David Attenborough was born into an educational family in Leicester, England. His mother was a linguist and his father a professor. As a child, fossil hunting and collecting nature specimens became David's passion. This appetite for learning stayed with him, and as a young man, David won a scholarship to study zoology and geology at Cambridge University. His studies were paused when he was called up for national service in the Royal Navy in 1947. But he later returned to study another degree in anthropology. Combining a love for the natural world with an understanding of human behaviour, David became known for his unique approach to broadcasting at the BBC. Speaking in a hushed tone full of excitement, David filmed his first programme in 1957, Zoo Quest. He wanted to find ways to connect audiences to the natural world, and the opportunity to do so came about when colour television was introduced to the BBC in 1967. His groundbreaking series, Life on Earth, transported audiences from their living rooms to the wild in a totally new way. This was the first of many pioneering shows, including Wildlife on One, The Private Life of Plants, and Blue Planet, all of which changed human understanding about our place in nature. David believed that no one will protect what they don't care about, and no one will care about what they've never experienced. In his 90s, David continues to make audiences all over the world care. And here's some pictures of David throughout his life. I'll bring it closer to the screen. And right at the top it will say, born in 1926. And someone else who was also born in 1926, who recently celebrated their 95th birthday, is the Queen. So we'll go back and have a look at some of these pictures, because if you're like me, I've read this so many times, and I continue to go back and read it and look at all the little pictures and everything, because there's just so much to see. But one thing I want to bring your attention to, which is something we don't normally look at Storytime, which is the sleeve decorations, the cover decorations just inside. All of these are different paw prints and footprints, and they're just so cute. And from the from a distance, they all look like they're exactly the same. But if you look really closely, they're actually all different, which is just such a great piece of detail and just so fitting for the story. There's even, if you look very, very closely, a little human footprint. Hopefully small, to show our small place in the wider world, which feels quite relevant. So some of the details that you may not have been able to have a little look at as we were going through, which I think is quite nice, because it gives a few extra layers to the story that you may not have picked up on. So right at the beginning, obviously we see David here on his bike, and obviously the story tells us that he lived at the university with his mum, his dad and his two brothers. But from the picture you can see he's the middle brother, so that's quite interesting. So it gives you a good understanding of the family dynamic as well. What I quite like also throughout the whole of the book is that animals are placed into unlikely positions throughout the story. It's almost like you're seeing the world through how David would have seen the world, which is great. So obviously where he's studying, there's also a chameleon there reading along with him at the table, which is really cute. You've got the little animals in the forest helping him work out all the little fossils that he's finding, which is really cool. And then one that I think they're on every page. I could point them all out, but I would spoil the story. But I think the one where it kind of shows it off the most is definitely the scene where he's getting knighted, and the animals have come along to the palace, and if you look really closely, they've got little bow ties on. So attention to detail there. It's just so funny. And international audience, obviously you've got a couple of beefeaters there who aren't quite in the right place, but it's really cute, little piece of detail. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you guys before we get on to my disastrous attempt at naming things is this page here, the one with the ocean, because I think it's very relevant to point out for anyone that may not have spotted it first time round, or the plastic that's floating around. It's really important to do our bit and to not let our rubbish end up, harming anything else. So it's really important to make sure that you dispose of your rubbish properly, or you recycle. And you know, if you are out at the beach or something, maybe bring a little carrier bag with you and pick up a few bits of rubbish that you see, because sad to say, unfortunately, whatever beach you go to, there's going to be something there. So, you know, do your bit and bring something home to dispose of properly. So now we get on to fun page, which I guarantee you, Pooh Bear has been waiting for, because I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this at all. Although I will point out, obviously, for anyone who is aware and will remember, so this ship that that David is holding in the illustration is officially called the RRS Sir David Attenborough, but everyone knows it for its real name, which is Boaty McBoatface. So, but it's fine, we'll call it that. So we'll go on. So we've got the ones which, I'm not going to do all of them because I don't want to do anything injustice, to be perfectly honest. I'm just not good at reading these without like someone to help me. So we're going to go for a nice simple one. This lovely flower down here in the corner, where my fingers are tapping, is the Blakey Attenborough. And then we have Matapisces Attenborough, I think. Oh gosh, I feel so bad because I'm just not very good at pronouncing some of these things. But we have, I'm going to go with potentially a mole here in the corner. This one looks like an amphibious dinosaur up here. Basically, they all have at some point in their name Attenborough in either a Greek or Latin kind of take on the name. So it's either Attenborough or oh dear, I'm just going to show you this one. So there's a little plant right down here. It's a little yellow plant. There we go. It's in the middle now. And there's a name just above my fingers, which I probably didn't spend too much time on. I'm sorry, but yeah. But I will pronounce the dinosaur one because it's good. Attenboroughsaurus. How cool is that? Now that I would be happy with just that. You know, there might already be an Emmosaurus. Maybe. Probably not. It's fine. Okay, so not to spoil it any further, but here we go. Another edition of Little People Big Dreams, and this time it's David Attenborough. So I hope you have all watched some kind of show that he's produced. Everyone I know tends to have like a favourite. The Ocean scares me, but Blue Planet is amazing. So, you know, I do recommend that one. And mainly when I watch these programs, I just get sad when everybody doesn't have any food to eat. So I'm not a very good audience member, but I do appreciate them. But yeah, take some time out, do a bit of research, send some happy birthday wishes to a real British hero, David Attenborough. So thank you for joining us today at Storytime. It's been a special one, and I hope to see you. I'll put this down here. We'll hope to see you again next time for another story and a bit of a catch up. It's not a very nice day today, so it's been lovely to spend some time with some people and to get to share a lovely story with you. So from me, it's goodbye, and from Pooh Bear, it's goodbye. So Pooh Bear, sit up and say goodbye. Bye. Bye.